It's June 24th, 2025. Oh, today in Hartville, some woman was outside. I go to get my vehicle. She's like, some police told us that they caught those kids lying years ago and to stay out of it. I wouldn't ask them to open an investigation. Okay, you can take your little drama and shove it. Because we'll put it this way. Yeah, you did know they were lying. Seriously. You knew they were lying. You knew Melissa and Auntie Show told them to lie. And them stating on Thanksgiving of 18 they were making everything up. They were games of pretend, laughing and giggling. You knew that. How many times the police and feds announced it in Walmart and other stores? Different towns, different places, because they're tired of you people. No one ever went to the hospital. There was no pictures of injuries. No police were called because they didn't make it up until an FBI case in front of the police and feds. They're documenting me games of pretending. You knew that. You knew that. And you're interfering in an FBI case. And then she's saying they said that it was an attorney's office that did this. And that the police didn't know about it. Yeah? Because, let's put it this way. Where from 18 and 19, 20, 21, 22 and on, they were saying, retired Judge Pete. Friends with Judge Ludick and Judge Stephen. And the Portage County Sheriffs were letting them get away with crimes because they were friends. Faith Family Church, 3,000 people. Oh, that's one thing. She said all those people seen them say that. Nobody can say a word to her. Duh. I mean, I'm getting to the point of just ignorance and stupidity. We're almost 7 years into this. It's not horrible. In 21, 22, I went up to the Portage County Sheriff's. And I told them what they were saying about a retired Judge Pete. Never heard of him. He said, I'll ask Ludick who his friend is. I said, but I've never heard of him. He said, I'll let you know, Miss Hall. He said, it was none of our officers in your home before. That would be illegal. He said, it's illegal to be in anybody's home, except for protected custody cases. And it was none of our officers, nor did we have knowledge of it. And what these people were saying they did is illegal. I told them about the shower scene in the other room. That's illegal. Had bruises throwing up, infected, and da-da-da. And I thought it was a dirty well water killing me. And here they're supposed to have drug me and rape me. That's illegal. Drugged me up and told me to say stuff. And I heard it's supposed to be horrible, weirdo stuff. He's like, that's illegal. He said everything these people did is illegal and we had no knowledge of it. So, at Faith Family Church in 19, they showed up. The ones saying that, not only the ones from Florida that worked for Judge Peters, but the groupies from Ravenna said they worked for Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, impersonating the Portage County Sheriffs and the FBI agents, hurting me. And where they said yesterday that attorney's office they already got him for attempted murder with her. Because they got the tape of where they bashed her head in 12/21/18. And it was the people that worked for that attorney's office. Well, they were the ones on December 16 of 18 showed up in Bob Evans and Belton Village, said they were FBI handlers. Those were the ones bragging they did it first week of January 19. So the people that work for that attorney's office, besides the cartel, the Freemasons, with the fake FBI agents and the fake Portage County sheriffs, and where Dave said he hired some guy named Pete on his own. It's just some guy. Told Danny April 16th, 23. Danny was struck across the parking lot. Still don't know, I know. He said, I finally went to Dad, asked him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in our home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape, the filthy, dirty stain. Never met him. Never met him. A rapist. Some of the investigators call him a serial rapist. So, where it's Billy from the Freemasons, I bet you're the attorney friend? Mama's. Well, see, that's where John's kids, when they're playing Boo in the basement, I went to go back up, and they said the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shaw, and Papa and Grandma need to get out. Look down there all in a huddle, laugh, and going like, they're saying crazy crap. And some of the crazy crap was Mama's attorney friend. Mama's attorney friend. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what on earth? And then, yeah. The house wasn't meant for Grandma. It was meant for Auntie Shaw and Papa. Grandma needs to get out, look down, and they're down there saying a bunch of crap. And one of them was Mama's attorney friend. I go up and I sit next to Dixie and the new baby, and I'm like, Auntie Shaw, I have to die for a Shaw? Who's Shaw? Or Dave said I held me down on how I had to die for his girlfriend. I go up to John, I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, Mom. He said, I told Melissa you're moving out, going through a divorce. You're going to be moving out. She'll just have the kids make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. I'm like, what? He said, she'll probably have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. No one can say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce and you're moving out. You shouldn't have said anything till it happened. But I did, and since I did, and nobody can say anything bad about you, don't worry about it. And he shoos me. As Officer John put it, January 12th, 22, 4:55 p.m., when those kids get tape stating, they made everything up. They were games of pretend. As Massillon police put it, documented in games of pretend. Stark County sheriffs laughed at some guy named Kurt for just finding out they were lying, called him small. May of 21. Got tape stating it and laughing in the basement. Flora told on him October 23rd, 2019. Of course it never happened. Of course it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. The FBI and the police had a huddle in the front of Walmart after that. Why they have those kids make that shit up? They're just trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke very highly of her. Where they said in 18, everything was for Melissa and Dave to get everything. And I thought, what are they dating? That's sick. That's John's wife, ex-wife. No, it was the whole scheme. Dave has Auntie Shaw and has been trying to kill me 4 different times. John divorces Melissa. She wants a kid. She wants everything. So they have these shysters run a drug scam. Kick in my door on the 6th day. Set up button camera, cyber stalking, federal crime. Took videos I've heard of me in the shower washing myself, photoshopped that in the other room, and their stalking tapes. By the 2nd week, I'm waking up with bruises, throwing up, severely infected. The only thing new to me is that new house when we moved in there. And the well water's dirty. Took us a couple months to get the water treatment system in. Had to go in and wash my hands. After you use the bathroom, take a fast shower. And it was orange. Here it had high levels of iron rust in it. Okay? brought bottled water to cook and drink, but you still have to wash your hands, and you still have to take a fast shower. Thought it was killing me. I'd wake up with injection marks, orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over me, throwing up. Severely infected till my personal areas pushed open and down, and I'd scream when I peed. Going to my community health center, and I was blaming the well water. Never seen her talk to anybody. I come in from working outside. I'd wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, go use the bathroom, wash my hands, and come out and sit down and take a drink out of a 2-liter Diet Coke. And the room would go dizzy and black. I would wake up with injection marks and then like that, throwing up, almost passing out in front of people, including in front of the neighbor by the second week. Lost 18 pounds, never seen or talked to anybody. They're fake sodium pentothal reports. Over 10 to 20 prescription drugs in high doses will make you sleepwalk without the legal ones like LSD and others. Cocktail drugs, they found out in August of 19 when I worked at Ohio Catholic Bank and I had to have a drug test. The manager was complaining that I was so full of drugs it should have knocked out a horse. And nobody was allowed to say a word to me because I was helping the FBI with a case, and it was Valium mixed with a bunch of other drugs. That lady today outside said they did such horrible things to her that her mind won't let her remember. No attorney's office can do this. It's right on Google if an attorney's office sets up on cameras in your home. It's criminal charges because it's cyber stalking is a federal crime. And then disciplinary action at the Bar Association. If they drug you for a fake confession, same thing. Break your constitutional right, same thing. They are not above the law. They are nobodies. You realize that. They have impersonated FBI and the people they hired in Portage County Sheriff's Bay Family Church, seen them 3,000. Like that lady said, that big church, all seen them. Nobody could say a word to her. Oh, we're not the only one. Let's see, Maslin, North Canton, Louisville. Ravenna. You want to play? Bedford, Akron. But think about this. This is where they thought they were being smartasses. David and Melissa hiring that attorney friend of hers, this gangster Pete, to run a drug scam on me. And then if I died, I died because he's already trying to kill me for show. But then when the bad people show back up and I called the FBI, they thought they fooled the FBI with its stupidest scam in the world. And here I'm running for my life to make sure. Remember when they used to say, make sure she ends up with nothing? Make sure she don't get a good job? Make sure she don't get remarried? Make sure nobody wants her? Keep her alone? Why? Because they're going to scam John. After the divorce, she went in his house uninvited. Hid. Wait till he walks out of the bathroom. She lunges screaming at him. Startled, he pushed her. Anybody would have. She wasn't supposed to be in there. Let alone some screaming and running at you, you're going to shove it. Now I got you. Had arrested domestic violence. Lost his kids for almost a year. Called me up. He said, Mom, he said, I'm trying to get partial custody of my kids back. He said, I need someone to pick up the kids. He said, I need a reliable name to put it on the court records. I said, John, I can't help you. I'm working 2 jobs. He said, Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. I said, John, I'm sorry. I don't even get off the first job to start the second one. Time they get out of school. I'm sorry, I can't help you, but Mom, if I don't have a reliable name that I can put on the court records to pick them up. He said, I'll listen forever. I said, I'm so sorry, John. I can barely afford my apartment now. But Mom, and he pleaded with me. He was angry with me. I didn't make enough money. My one job only made $12 an hour. That's why I used to have to work so many different jobs. That's what they wanted. He eventually moved to Florida, married to a beautiful woman, looks happy. Comes, visits his kids every once in a while, and their evil plan worked. Scare me out of everything, so I'm running for my life. Make it so I couldn't help John, so she could scam him. And that stupid bitch has been bragging to Dixie and other people how she was part of hiring those men to drug, beat, and rape me. Melissa needs to go to jail. That makes her dangerous. And then think they can come down with the same scams that all been debunked 7 years ago. From the drugs in Toldosea to the shower scene, to the mean games of pretend, all debunked 7 years ago. In front of the FBI and police. They're all starting again and how they want to steal my husband's money. They want to steal from the FBI, trying to get Dixie and Josh arrested. Or they said Dixie would be next. Remember Agent John? Remember I called down there? I'm working on it. They either want you dead or locked out. That's how they're getting away with, they're trying to get away with framing people. Getting rid of them. They don't want you in their life. They don't want you to be happy. You have nothing to do with them. And they'll hunt you down and run scams on you. And offering Dixie endless amount of money, millions of dollars, if she even puts a complaint in. Leave the dumb girl alone. If she can extort from the FBI, leave the dumb girl alone. Surveillance laws. And like an agent said, he was listening Saturday, Karen said it perfectly. Doctors can never tape you unaware because of HIPAA and Privacy Act. Okay? It's a federal crime. Let's see. Never have button cameras, listening devices in somebody's home at right to privacy. It's cyber stalking. Ohio is a one-party conversation recording. It's like recording a cookout, a birthday party, an event. You can hit record on your phone. We all do. Totally legal. It's also legal to hit record on your phone as long as you don't do anything to the other person. And tape a conversation. It's a one-party recording conversation. In Ohio. It's right on Google. You don't need, it's just like taping a family get-together. It is totally legal. April 6th, 25, I go over to Danny and Jen's. Dixie and the girls are in there. Carla and I go in and sit down. And she walks 7 feet from me and Carl. Walks into the kitchen. Nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man. It's like, excuse me? She's like, some lady investigator said she can extort all kinds of money out of the government for me and Melissa. Attempted extortion on the government's 20 years. Leave the dumb girl alone. And a lady investigator said that she could extort money from me and Melissa. And for me, she said that she could even steal all that old man's money and give it to me. I thought, psycho. She's like, that lady investigator said, I even though I gave her permission on tape, now I already told you it's legal. Now she gave me permission on tape, she really has nothing to say. I gave her permission of knowing of Melissa's kids' mean games that pretend they were all laughing about. And I gave her to tape me of knowing it and of Dave breaking of the gunshot night and that it was okay to tape me, even though I said it was okay on tape. I can still store money, all kinds of money out of the government, and all that old man too. I'm like, leave the dumb girl alone. Stop playing with stupid people. And she can get all kinds of government money out of it for Melissa. Jen's like, some lady investigator showed up here, asked me if I knew of the tapes before, and I told her we weren't part of it and we will not have nothing to do with it. And she said, asked me if I knew of a tape of Weird With Yourself, said I didn't know anything about it, nor will we have part of it. And she had giant bruises all over. I seen them. She's like, that means nothing. She's like, yes, it does. And I realized what was happening with what she was saying. Oh, I went over there on Christmas Eve of 22 and confronted them about all this. They knew nothing. Like Jen said, I asked her if they knew about button cameras. They didn't. If they knew about a shower scene in the other room, they didn't. I asked them where the had bruises throwing up and almost passing out. Did you know they were drugging me and telling me to say weirdo stuff and beating on me? And she said no. She thought I was working too hard and bruising too easy, and they didn't know. And we had talked about being roofied and different people. I knew about people sleepwalking. They already knew about those drugs. April 16, 23. Eventually, because I started at Christmas Eve of 22 talking to him about stuff, and I went over there and talked to him more, and Gabe's one girlfriend, Shay, said, Karen, it's scary, somebody is watching you. And I said, I know. And I said, it's really creepy, and I thought they'd take me in the shower and put it in another room. And people are laughing at me at stores. In front of people, it's horrible. And I said, I had bruises throwing up and almost passing out. And Jen's like, I seen her like that, and I didn't think of someone hurting her. And I said, they're supposed to drug me and told me to say weirdo stuff. She's like, Karen, that's scary. Predators people were getting in there hurting you and drugging you, and you didn't see them. I said, I know. And I said, I take a drink out of a drink, the room would go dizzy and black, or I'd wake up with injection mark and giant bruises, throwing up and almost passing out. And Jen's like, I seen her like that. And I didn't put it together. And April 16, 23, Danny and Jen and the kids walk up to Gabe and Shay. He said, Danny's like, I finally went to Dad. I asked him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in her home before. Pete has her framed, and Pete had the tape of the filthy, dirty statement of the drugs and told us that some guy named Pete he hired the drugs and told us that. Never met him. Some investigators consider him, they called him a serial rapist. Or in drug scams with that attorney. Bill from the Freemasons. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and go forward. See what I mean? Then people act stupid. It's just like some guy last month. I found out John's lived in Florida for 3 or 4 years. Who have I been meeting in my office with? They said it's somebody impersonating him. They've had people impersonate everybody. From my mother on down. It's just a big con. But back to April 16, 23. Now I only have 3 weird memories. I thought they were nightmares. Drug hazes. Sound of footsteps, a white man's arm, white dress shirt, gray pinstripes, and a syringe coming at me, room going dark, feeling like my back is being ripped open to my chest, screaming in agony, can't see, can't breathe, in every part of my body and screaming in agony. And I can't breathe. All I can hear is my screams. I thought they were nightmares. Now, Dixie telling John that Melissa told him the group of people they hired to do this to me, she was part of hiring them. That poor Dave. Poor Dave. Had to sit in the basement and listen to her have wild sex with other men. He let them to drug and beat rape me and listen to it. Melissa was part of hiring them. They never put her in jail. She's dangerous. She's very dangerous. Jen's like, we want no part of this. And that Dixie said, I don't blame Dave what he did to her. At first it was like, you end up in federal prison, you dumb bitch, it'll serve you right. It took me a long time to calm down before I texted Joshy and told Joshy they were scamming him to get him arrested and send him off. Leave my kid alone and his dumb wife. God help her. I've never seen somebody so dumb in my life. And they think they can come down here and steal again after they scared me out of everything before? The FBI needs to be arresting them. Everybody knows who's done it now.